Hello everyone. Hopefully you're doing well today. I wanted to basically check in, look at the energy today of this full moon. I've been working all day, but I thought let's do one more video together and really just sort of look at past, present, and future influences. Maybe we'll do a quick pulse on the elements and just see what the lesson is. Whenever I kind of do a celestial reading, I just want to see what the opportunity is to grow, to thrive, and really to be our best in this moment in time. So I hope you all are doing great. I'm so happy that you've taken some time here to spend with me, and let's work on this together, okay? So first things first, my name is Ashbaugh. This is an impromptu reading. It is not going to follow any script. We're just going to kind of dig in and see what the universe brings us here. All right, let me get everything set up so I can see what you see. And let me know how you're feeling. I put a poll up. Let me know if the new moon, or the full moon rather, is treating you well, or if there's area for opportunity. All right, so let's look at past, present, and future influences for today and see what's coming through. So typically whenever a full moon comes through, it's usually an opportunity to release some energy, but let's just see what the cards show. All right, we're just going to go ahead and look at these upright, even though they were reversed. We'll see them as sort of mutable, or for some of you, you're maybe sort of trying to deal with these, but whenever I get three reversals, I usually just read them upright. Okay, here we go. Five of Pentacles. In the deep past, what we're seeing for many of you is this understanding that you are the source of your inspiration, that even though we sometimes wish and want for friends, for family, for the world at large to sort of like validate us, the validation, the acceptance, and the love ultimately as we get older, it comes from within. And there could still be some wounds from the past that you might be healing because of rejection, because of a lack of support, because of just wishing that someone could have been there in the way that you needed them, but maybe they weren't there. They weren't there themselves. A lot of times this wound that we carry is kind of passed on. So what we're going to do in the full moon today and this month here is break that cycle and basically love yourself enough to make whatever changes you need to make in your life in this moment in time, and value yourself enough to step away from people that maybe repeatedly just are not basically aren't giving you what you deserve, and on any level, whether it's like love and appreciation, pay, support, etc. So we're going to try to break that cycle in this moment in time. And as we look at what's coming through to help you with that, we have the Knight of Wands. And it's an embodiment card, actually. So Knight of Swords, very verbal, very active. The Knight of Wands feels it, believes it, embodies it, and starts to demonstrate it long before it may actually start to come into fruition. So this is the understanding that you can do better, that you are worth more, that maybe someone did not come through in the way that they needed to. This is you being your own hero. You're the knight on the white horse, basically, right? And you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to save yourself. So we see this magical unicorn, and I'm not using even the unicorn deck, it's just the new Celtic one. And basically here, what you want to do is tune in and lead by example. And some of this is going to be by following your own advice. If there's boundaries and limits and you expect others to adhere to them, then adhere to them yourself, starting with basically saying no if you need to. This is a really good card for also if you need to kind of like create a new page in your life. Sometimes it's easy, like when you move, you can just reinvent yourself. But this is sort of like, for some of you, it's saying fake it till you make it. Push out that other version of yourself and just see how people react. Trying to just demonstrate. That's what I keep getting, is the show up, demonstrate, and you have to believe it. And if you can do that, then you can start to change the script, change the story. But people may need a few sort of reminders, because if you haven't always been good at saying no, if you haven't always been good at keeping your own sort of promises and boundaries, this is what you really need to focus on in the days and the weeks that follow this full moon. But this is a great card. This could also show that as you start to make these changes internally, you're going to create some action and some movement and some traction in your life as well. So we like that. And that's what the present energy is opening up to. It's movement. For some of you, this could even represent love or friendship on the horizon. In fact, we can connect this nicely to the Four of Wands. So we have internal love, support, the source of your own light, you complete yourself. Then we see someone coming in and recognizing that. We also see you going out and demonstrating that. And probably somewhere in the middle is when you might meet a new connection. And I say connection because we're all looking for different types of connections: friendship, love, partnership, business, whatever you want the Four of Wands to be, it can be different for everyone. It is a very elevated card. This in some ways is even better than the Two of Cups or the Lovers, because with it there is promise, there's someone that you can rely on, there is a nice firm foundation from which you can build things. And as we look at the month ahead, this is really what that's kind of opening up for you. If you look closely at this, there are a few steps that you have to take, those little lily pods there, to kind of get to that destination. So there might be a little bit of delicate movement to get to that place where something cool is going to happen. But take the steps, keep working on yourself, keep looking at what you're trying to create and see it on the horizon there. And you don't have to do this alone. The only card that shows that feeling of being alone or loneliness is the deep past. So we all have wounds from the past that we're healing, right? And we all are growing. But what I see here when I focus on present and future, it's quite bright, all right? So these are the past, present, and future energies. Let's take a moment now and do an impromptu elemental check-in for this as well. And so basically what I'm going to do is take a look at fire, earth, air, and water, specifically looking at the lessons here in this full moon. By the way, it's a worm moon, and I did a little bit of research. It's not necessarily earthworm, but it's like the beetles in the trees or something like that. But what I like about the worm is it's flexible, and it's also a transitional sort of state for some, if we look at larvae and things like that. So let's see how we can create some movement as well. I was using a black and white deck this morning. I might just stick with that, the Tarot of the Abyss. So maybe we'll do that because it's kind of nice for lunar readings. So let's take a look at the elemental read here using two of my newest decks. Okay, so fire, earth, air, you've got a lot going on, water. Okay, so let's take it one by one here. Fire, this is for my Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And let's see what's going on for you here. We've got the Queen of Cups. So for many of you, this is a moment to move into new creative ventures, to open up your heart a little bit. For many of you, some of the healing has already been done, and you're really just sort of exploring a more expressive side of yourself. And this is a chance to kind of take a risk on that. What I'm also looking at is all the fluidity in this illustration. You can see all these beautiful lines moving back and forth. So if you're a little bit more capable of going with the energetic flow and just allowing whatever may be to be, rather than trying to control everything, rather than trying to see everything put on a schedule, et cetera, that's going to be better for you and for everyone around you. So going with the flow, putting your heart on your sleeve a little bit more, and just allowing yourself to be more vulnerable, express yourself a little bit more. You might be surprised at who comes into your life if you can allow yourself to do that. But otherwise, this is a great card for love and a great card for creativity. And those two things are coming through pretty clear as well. Be kind to yourself. That's another thing that I'm picking up on when I look at this. And those are the messages for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's a good card. We'll take Queen of Cups any day. She's one of the best court cards, and it generally portends happiness or happier times once you move through some of the healing that we talked about earlier, which is a part of the deep past, which is understanding that we can't change the people around us, we can't change the past, but we can heal and move the energy within us. All right, let's move on to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You got a pretty good card here. We have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is reversed. Let's just kind of look a little closer at this one. So what we see here is someone that's kind of finding their power. This reminds me of like a new witch, wizard, magician, whatever you want to call it, figuring out, sorry about that. It's kind of like Harry Potter figuring out how to use the wand. So for some of you, there's this understanding that you're more capable, more sort of wise than people may give you credit for. And it's sort of like, how do I share that with the world? How do I kind of get comfortable with my own skills, my own calling? So again, this is about putting it to practice. I talk a lot about this, and whenever I launch the podcast this summer, we'll talk more about intuitive development. But it's called a spiritual practice for a reason. And everything with time, with experience, with the perseverance of a practice gets better. So maybe the message for you that you want to focus on to really kind of empower yourself would be this. You don't have to be perfect at whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is that you're discovering. You just have to take some action on it. And so I see someone that's thinking a lot about something, but probably overthinking it. And it's really about taking that magical wand. This is the suit of magic too on that level, and doing something with it, directing the energy. So it's a time to stop thinking and to start doing, and to stop projecting perfection and just start. And the quote unquote perfection will come later. It's just as you start to practice. The practice is more important than the perfection piece at the end of the day as well. Okay? Could be a great time for brainstorming, ideation, and there could be a little bit of exhaustion for some of you. This card can sometimes indicate a lack of vitality or energy. So proper self-care is going to be really important, especially during this full moon. You should just get as much sleep as possible, drink as much water, and do something kind for your body as well. Okay? So I do like that we have something that would generate an opportunity or an idea here. And it looks like a phoenix, by the way, phoenix rising here on the side. So you have the capacity to come back or come through a challenge or a problem and really be able to excel. Okay, air, my Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you've got some changes on the horizon. I actually think that the Tower gets a bad rap. The Tower is necessary changes. And the question for you, all of my air signs, is, are you paying attention to what's going on? If you are, you can ride the energy of change. Let me talk about some good examples of a tower. Doesn't always have to be what we see in the illustration where something's falling apart or there's like lightning bolts or whatever. The lightning bolt can be an epiphany. It's like a light bulb. And it's like, oh, wow, this changes everything. And you decide to make a phone call or take a trip or say something that ignites this whole new path in front of you. So you can be, and it's almost like imagine you bought a plot of land and there was an old house there and you need to take that down. It's a tear down, but you know what's going to be built in the place. So you're going to do a little bit of deconstruction and then you're going to reconstruct or construct something, but it's all within your realm of power and sort of planning. So sometimes we wantingly, knowingly take apart something so that we can build something stronger. So some of you are on that precipice. You're doing some really exciting and transformative work. So for those of you that get really excited about like changing policies or laws, this is that. This would be like advocacy work, education, and trying to get people to change their mind. We want the tower to happen sometimes. We have to tear down the old to make room for the new. So some of my air signs out there are doing some really exciting work, and it's a little bit of like rolling up your sleeves and creating a mess. So in the middle of all of this, don't lose track of you. Don't lose track of your vision. And again, a little bit of that self-care is coming through. For those of you where sudden changes are happening, another good example of a sudden change could be someone proposing to you, a job opportunity, winning the lotto, coming into some money. It changes your situation, and what you were a second ago changed the minute you get that message. The Tower can be good. It's not like the Devil card where there is something we have to work on. Sometimes the Tower is just radical change. The challenge is, how do you stay grounded? Are you being present in the moment? Are you flexible enough to move? You can't stand in the Tower and just expect to not change at all. So the main thing, as I'm looking at this full moon right now, is are you willing to make some changes in your life? Where are you willing to make some changes? What would you like to let go of? Think about like self-improvement and self-development, and particularly what can you let go of? And I think that would help you out right now. But wow, it's exciting. And I got a really good energy from this Tower. Okay, I'm not worried about it. I just see like the lightning bolt of rapid change and inspiration. So I'm also an intuitive reader. I don't just look at the card or just look at the value. I get the feeling from it, and I got a good feeling from this tower. Okay, that is for my air signs. Let's go on to water. This is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Got another page. Lots of pages coming through. The Page of Swords. And this Page of Swords is upright. I love how she's looking at like source energy in this card. Let's zoom in a little bit closer so we can see this. So we see someone who's really tuning in, really feeling their power. Yeah, the other one was an ace. But we have a page and an ace for the different signs, and I'm excited about that. But the page here is saying, how far are you willing to go? And are you willing to kind of like share your ideas and start to put this out there? Because there is... people are waiting to hear from you. So some of this relies on your willingness to sort of say what's on your mind. If you can do that, I think some exciting things can come through for you, okay? And this is a good time to write. It's a great time to do some research. You are very good at being the connector. A Page of Swords is a medium, but is also connection between point A and point B. So never underestimate the power of that person to make something happen. You might know the two people that are going to bring something into fruition. So a lot of power in your ability to connect, ability to network, and an ability to communicate. And because you're water, you can also infuse passion and emotion into that and bring it to another level. Okay? That was fun. All right, let me just scan the chat real quick and see what's going on with all of you. So let's see. I know some of you said that you have a lot of sort of heavy emotions right now. So why don't we just look at one thing for like coping or sort of like, yeah, just how to deal with the energy specifically, whether it's heightened or not so high. And then maybe we'll wrap it there. I just wanted to kind of quickly check in and do a pulse check. They don't have to all be long readings. Some of mine are just a quick sort of pulse check. All right. So what can you do in this moment in time to really bring yourself into a better place? Whether it's you're feeling a lot or there's a lot of energy, a lot of ideas. We have 2. So let's just make it a 3-card pull and we'll end with this. Okay. So as we look at your deep past, we have the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is a fiercely independent card. It did come through reverse. So I think one thing that you should feel free to do is to talk to others. So if you're dealing with a lot, call a friend, text a friend, or message someone and just say, hey, how are you feeling? What's going on? I had a friend the other day that just did that because we're both sensitive with energy and just said, did you feel the shift, the past couple of days? And, so maybe it's a friend that is kind of connected to energy. Maybe it's someone who you just know and you want to talk about everyday life, whatever. I feel like it's important for you to just have someone to talk to and you don't have to do it alone. But by the way, what I am looking at is that you've been doing a lot of work on yourself and many of you are starting to see some success in your life. So this is in no short way due to all the value that you bring. And it's in many ways sort of like, it shows the true value that was missing in this card. It's here. Okay, so definitely don't underestimate yourself. We have a card here that's saying, get real, be honest here. So the 7 of Swords, we're all very familiar with this one. The 7 of Swords comes through when oftentimes there's someone in our life that just disappoints us. We might have expected too much. They may have promised something and just couldn't do something. For yourself, though, because we're really looking at coping, sometimes we make lofty goals just because there's a celestial event or for whatever reason, New Year's Eve or whatever. What I'd really love you to do is to be as honest and as kind to yourself as possible. And if you're not ready to do something today or tomorrow, that's fine. But do put something on the calendar when you are ready. And just as we were talking about here with the Knight of Wands, it is about you showing up and demonstrating and being the person that you say you're going to be. So when you're honest with yourself and really ready to make something happen, that's when this card goes away. And with it, the 5 of Swords, the Devil, and the Moon as well, because they're all friends in that. I kind of sometimes imagine that the cards hang out. So besties with the 7 of Swords would be the 5 of Swords and the Moon and the Devil. We don't need any of those energies. And so the main way to dismiss that as to be honest with yourself, to be honest with others. And if you see someone acting in a way that is lacking integrity, basically to let them know that you see them as well and that that's not acceptable. And this is going to systematically push away that energy and bring in something new. And what we really saw for you is this is a temporary state, because the Four of Wands is bringing in exactly the antithesis of the Seven of Swords. Okay, so we're looking at a lack of integrity, and then like the actual definition of stability and integrity with the Four of Wands. What do you need to really be focusing on right now? Friends. People where you can be yourself. This was also reversed. I'm just going to show them upright because they're all sort of subtle energy here. So the main thing that you want to focus on here is this ability to just be yourself. And it shouldn't be someone that you have to edit your true being around. So this is someone who loves you unconditionally. That's basically the definition of unconditional love, right? And so yes, I think this is a time to spend with people that truly see, celebrate, and support you. There's a lot of love coming through in this reading today. It comes from within, and once you love and accept yourself, we start to see someone in the future that's going to do that. Hopefully you already have a network around you. And if you don't have the network, work on building the network. And remember, it doesn't happen overnight. This is a fiercely independent card, and it takes time to go from this to this. So baby steps will get you closer to that. But the Six of Cups is playful. And even if you don't have a lot of people in your life right now, what you can do is something that you enjoyed as a kid. Something that also brings out the inner child, or something that isn't overly serious. So I encourage, if it's, whether it's watching a movie, or again, doing something that could bring a laugh or a smile, whatever that is going to be for you, that's going to be important. Okay. All right. So I hope you enjoyed. This is just a quick check-in. You can definitely look at my weekly reading and the monthly ones. I just did Gemini today, and I'll be back again on Thursday and Friday for the next two. And I think I already posted those on my main channel page, so you can set the reminders. So let me know if you like readings like this. I'm going to try to, as often as possible, try to do the celestial ones and just keep them a little shorter so you can all check in. So this is perfect length. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe so you never miss out. You can be part of the notification group here, and give me a follow on social media in case you do miss it. I put recaps there. You can give me super sticker or super chat if you'd like to. I'll say thank you here in just a moment. Always remember that I do not give private readings, and I won't send private messages, and I don't use the comments to solicit business. There's a lot of fake people out there. If you ever need to see the official links and everything, they're all listed on my website. All right, just a quick thank you, and then we're going to wrap up for today. And I appreciate you guys. I said I appreciate all of you hanging out with me. I know you guys are busy, and it's nice to kind of like have this community here for all of us to connect with. All right, so give me 1 second here, and let's see if there were any new channel members. I think most of these I remember from earlier. Joan, Lori, Francine, Queen of Speed, Andrea, and I think that's everybody from today. So just in case any of you joined earlier or just now, I just want to say thank you. Super stickers and super chat. Quick shout out to those that gave back. Let's see. Esogogo, I guess it is. Liz, Amy, Daniela, Kathy. So good to have all of you here. A lot of familiar faces as well. And yeah, thanks for spending some time. All right, everybody, I hope you had a great evening, and I appreciate your support. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. And again, remember, if you haven't already looked at the weekly reading, it's right there on the main channel, and there's a 7-day forecast that you can look at as well. All right, take care. Lots of love and light. And again, I appreciate your time. Bye-bye.